All right. Happy Monday, everyone. I hope everyone has had a restful weekend and you're ready to start week 3. Um, just ready to go. I mean, you have created these magnificent plans, thought about your future, which is a little scary and exciting at the same time. So, really getting the chance to um, reflect on your decision to come to Full Sail, and now Miss P is asking me to talk about what I want to do with the rest of my life. It's exciting and it's scary at the same time, and I understand. The cool thing is about looking at your plans is that I get a chance as your mentor to check you out and see what prompted this whole journey to come here at Full Sail and decide to make what's in your heart come to reality. It's one of my favorite things to do, especially that I have the chance to pull out, if that's the word I want to use, just actually open your eyes to how capable you really are. Um, Many of you have this idea, and you have in your head that, okay, well, this is the natural progression, and I need to go on with pursue my education. This is something um, that I thought of for a long time, whether it's because I draw or I play games or I create music, and now you're starting to realize that you're on this path to gain all this knowledge and all this skill, and you have all these wonderful people that surround you, and everything that you could take advantage of is all in the palm of your hands. Okay, I'm seeing in the chat box, guys. I just want to preface that when I'm trying something new out, and I have a lot of animations in this video tonight. It's for demonstration purposes. However, it does not let me use the chat box at the same time. So I apologize if I can't get to your private questions. I will stay after if um, you need to speak with me. That's cool with me. Daniel, I'm so glad that sound came back up. Know that it really was just my introduction, and you can listen to that back after I submit the recording. So, as I was coming into the class tonight, a lot of you commented on my cover photo. Yeah, she is my hero. She is one of my favorites. Cannot wait until uh, I get the chance to play the new one. I'm really excited about it. Um, oh, thank you, Dana. I appreciate it. Me too. Me too. She's one of my idols. Um, um, where was I? I'm getting sidetracked with Lara Croft. Sorry. But I got a chance, just as a review before we get into tonight's lecture, I got a chance to look over 2 out of 3 sections so far. So if you have not got feedback from me yet, it's early because the assignment wasn't due until midnight of last night. So Don't freak out if you haven't got feedback from me, but I have started. I actually finished 2 out of 3 sections today, so I hope to get to that by tomorrow afternoon. You should have all your feedback, and I'm gonna minimize this for a second because I have a couple of questions. They can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Let me just answer this one. Okay, awesome. So many of you can hear me. That's cool. So getting back to this, I have, like I said, I looked over the plans. The way, if you haven't seen any of the recordings from last week, the way that I break down your feedback is using the Simon Sinek's Golden Circle model. So just to give you a heads up of how I do things, in your feedback, you will see that I broke down your plans into those 3 sections. And if you did your part and you gave me as much detail as you could possibly give, I was able to pick out your strengths and give you a direction on where you should go for your final presentation. Many of you really spoke from your heart and gave me a glimpse of why you're doing what you're doing. And the why is the most important thing. It is what is going to hook your audience. It's going to engage your audience. It's giving them purpose. It's giving them direction. They want to understand why it is what you do and why should they care? Why should they listen? Why should they invest? Why should they hire? Why should they join? And that's really the epicenter of your entire presentation. It is the center of who you are. It's part of you and part of your brand. What speaks from your heart is part of the promise that we talked about in our early session of last week, that brand promise, that guarantee that you're going to give to your potential audience, your potential employer, your potential clients, your potential fans. So make sure that ultimately, no matter what the role is, they are going to want something in return. They want something back. So I am viewing many of you are have plans to give back to your communities or educate or teach, which I think is amazing. It's amazing to bring your skill and your knowledge into helping others and pretty much bringing about what they're capable of doing. Not only being that that leader, but be beyond that leader and groom future leaders. Show them what they can do. And that's why I like to give a couple of options when it comes to the final presentation. And I wanted to address that question really quickly before we move on. There was some question about the direction of the assignment. And it may be because though some people are still trying to get acclimated and they're trying to find their way, figuring out where everything is. And the hire me situation is just one of the choices that you could do. So one of the choices is having your heart or your mind set on a company. That is one direction. Another direction was you have an idea or you want to create an empire and you need investors because we don't have the capital to build this ourselves. So that was an avenue. And then the Join Me, there was two different choices in that where you had an idea and you need a creative team to build this force to get your idea or get your plan or get your product built and out there. And the other choice was motivation, but beyond motivation. And I believe that is the most difficult choice. That is the most difficult out of all the choices. And I'm very excited that some of you have gone that route and you have this burning passion to create a movement. And I love it. I think that is so it's worth it. This world needs people that want to share love and education and passion. But it takes a lot. It takes more than just bringing awareness of a situation. It takes more than opening people's eyes and trying to educate them in whatever is arising. It's bringing forth solutions or providing insightful ways to help others see that they have the power to change the world. And you all have this potential. You all have these capabilities. You have to think of yourself as a change agent, but in order to create change, there has to be action. So a Join Me situation that is meant to bring about a movement, there has to be action or the plan of action. And I hope that makes sense. Awesome. Okay, so moving along with week 3. First of all, what I want you to do is take your hand and put it on over your left shoulder and pat yourself on the back. Because welcome to week 3. That means that you guys have completed 50% of CRP, which is ridiculous because it feels just like yesterday that you just started. So congratulations for being 50% done with a creative presentation. Yes, it's crazy, it's nuts. It goes so fast. Faster than you think that it goes. So I want you to congratulate yourself for working so hard thus far, and believe me, it's a challenge. It is a big accomplishment to get yourself acclimated the first 2 weeks, find out the inner workings of this online education, understand how I teach and how I grade, understand how all the different outlets that are provided for you and how to make them work for you, for your situation. So know that it's a strength that you got this far, and be proud of your accomplishments. It is an accomplishment. So the discussion board for this week is not it's not weighted. It's not something that I'm gonna grade. I know that I've been all over the discussion boards the first 2 weeks on conversating with you guys and hopefully giving you some incentive and some insight and making you feel a little bit more comfortable with communicating with each other. So the discussion board is not designed this week for a graded activity. What it is designed for is that what I said in the beginning, our very first meeting with each other, is that we all are diverse. Everybody has a different talent. They have a different level of experience. There's people that are proficient in technology far beyond others. There are people that are proficient in writing skills and they're wordsmiths. They just understand the English language and know how to use words. My point is that we all need each other, and building communities and building relationships are just another way for us to learn and to enhance our skills, whether we're receiving the information or we're giving the information. Becoming the mentor is also a great way to learn about yourself. You start to realize things that from the advice that you're giving others, you start to realize things about yourself and the way that you do things. So it's a two-way street. This week, it's built like the community discussion board in the beginning of the month. And this discussion board is meant for you to share best practices with each other. So for the rough draft, and we're going to get into what the rough draft entails, one of the components is that you need to record. You need audio. You need a narrative for your presentation. So the community discussion board is designed to share ideas with each other, share best practices, share programs that you have used in the past that were successful, or maybe even user friendly. Maybe they're not so complicated and they're user friendly and people won't have a problem using them, or even incorporating them into their presentation. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you value becoming the mentor. You've left me speechless. I can't get my words out. So I'm very grateful. I think it's such an important part of our growing process. It's such an important part. So the community discussion board is just that. As always, I made a post up there. I shared a program called QuickTime Player, and the reason why I shared that one is it's across platforms. So you don't need any specific, there we go, the word came out, um, computer. You don't have to be a PC or a Mac to be able to use that program. It's across platforms. And it's very easy. I went in, I gave a little blurb of what it does, and I took a screenshot of my my desktop to show you where it was, what the program looks like. You could record audio, you could record your screen, you could record video. There's 3 different options in there, and it's very user friendly. It's easy to export the audio and attach it to your presentation. So I recommend that you check that out. Do we have any questions so far? Is there any questions about last week or any concerns? Okay, let me escape from this for a second so I can go ahead and use my control panel. Okay. Okay, your nickname, Cynthia, do you use China or Sienna?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, awesome. Cinna.
Cinna. Okay, awesome. One of my favorite characters in the uh, oh my god, I just lost the name of the series.
The Hunger Games, is that what you're thinking?
Yes, I was gonna say Mockingjay, but I'm like, that's only just one of the books.
Right. I think it's also in a Shakespeare play.
Yes, it is. And kudos to you for knowing that.
Thanks. My question is if I were to build a presentation on a platform that is web-based, that's written in HTML, is can I submit the assignment by uh, posting the link under comments because those are not downloadable in some cases.
Okay, I'm so glad that you mentioned this. And it's something that I was gonna address
Oh, super.
during this presentation. Um, but it's the same thing what I introduced in the first week. If you were to use, say, an online program, or you were going to use a program like iMovie or Windows Movie Maker where it generates a movie file, um, those type of things you need to host at, say, YouTube, Vidler, Vimeo, and it generates a link. All you need to do is create a Word document and with your name, student ID number, and the URL of where your file is hosted, and
Ah,
you upload the document to the platform.
I see. That is a really tricky way around it. Round it. Good. Okay, thank you so much.
You're so welcome, and I'm glad that you asked the question because a lot of people are like, they freak out because they're like, oh my god, I can't, it's not uploading to the platform. And it's impossible to upload an online program to
Right.
the
Thank
platform.
you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, okay, Shaya had the same question. Awesome. So see, Sina, you asked a question that others had, so thank you very much. Um, Dina, I see that you said yes. Does that mean that yes, you have a question? Okay, I'm not too sure. I guess you don't have a question. Daniel, yes, is the question. Okay, let me address Daniel first. Daniel, yes, I'm glad that you brought that up. If you don't want your video public, absolutely, you can choose the unlisted option. Actually, I recommend that option. It doesn't make it public. It allows anyone with a link to view your presentation. Okay. All right, Dana, you have a question?
Uh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. My question is, did I do better on the presentation than I did before?
I'm not sure what you're asking. Do you mean?
On the sample first draft that we did for this coming week, on week 3, I was just wondering if I did better on that for my final.
If you should do better on that?
No, if I did better. Or can I improve?
Well, I'm not through with all the plans yet.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not too sure if you got a grade from me yet. I just started those, and I got through 2 of the 3 sections, so I'm not too sure if you received feedback from me yet. Have you?
I don't think I have, but I did correctly name it and turn it in,
Perfect.
like I didn't before. Should we use PowerPoint on the video part?
You can. It is a choice. It is a choice. Understand that currently I don't teach the technology. So what I'm looking for when it comes to your final presentation, and this is a great question, is that you understand the content. You understand how to tell a story. You have read the material and you have evidence that you understood what Nancy was teaching us. And I'm not gonna grade you on how like if you use special effects or use Final Cut Pro over Windows Movie Maker. I want you to use what you feel most comfortable in.
Okay, I was thinking Word document, but that is, it has a connection fit sometimes whenever I open it, so I might have to go with PowerPoint.
Well, a Word document is fine for the plans.
Oh,
But
okay.
when you're creating a presentation, a Word document is not the best program for a presentation.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
you're so welcome. Okay, Geraldine, I see that you said so we put her on YouTube. Not necessarily. It depends on what you decide to work with for your final presentation. Does that make sense? And Kayla said, so are we actually presenting this? We aren't just sending in slides like we have been. Okay, great question, Kayla. What I'm going to propose, and no one has taken me up on this yet, but I am going to propose this, it's something that I'm not going to spend too much time on right now because I want to talk about the rough draft, and the final presentation is not until week 4. However, I would like to propose for you guys to, if you want to present live, I will give an option for a go-to session to present your presentation. So, bottom line is that you will be uploading your final presentation to me, and it's different than my campus class. My campus class, they present live in front of the class, but I will give that option. And Geraldine, yes, like a slideshow, but you speak. So as I'm speaking to you guys right here, and I'm showing you my slides, that's what you would do if you wanted to do that way. Oh yeah, I'm all about the challenge. And know that you guys are so capable of doing this. If I can do this, if I can talk for an hour, you guys can talk for 4 minutes. Trust me. I know you can do it. The only catch would be uh, is that you would have to have your presentation done before we have the go-to session, if you wanted to make that choice. But it's up to you. I'm putting it out there. I may even do, well, we'll see. I'll put a feeler out there. I'll send you guys, maybe I'll send you a survey, and I'll feel you out and see where you're at, and we could do that. Oh, Senna, I love that. I love that. And I will work on that. I will work on the form, and getting you guys connected. I will totally work on that. And especially now it's the beginning of week 3, so that's kind of a cool place to be. We're at the beginnings of week 3, and I'll put the feel out. That would be fun in week 4. And like I said, my online sections haven't bit yet, and you guys would be the first, and that would make me happy. Okay. And Kayla, no, it's not. It doesn't have to be scary. Totally doesn't have to be scary. Remember from the very first discussion board, when you guys shared your personal presentation history, and all that fear and all that anxiety was coming out, but what did we all tell each other? We all told each other that in some shape or form, we've all had that moment of vulnerability. We've all had that moment of fear. And that places us on the same plane. That places us in a position that we're connected and we could support each other. So, Sina, you're talking about building a community and supporting each other and giving each other motivation. Love it. You guys are your best cheerleaders is your peers and yourself. And Kayla, it's a challenge, but I trust me that it's the right thing for you to do for yourself, is meet those fears in the face and let it go, especially now at a time where you're just beginning. This is only the beginning of your journey, and how comfortable we have created this atmosphere together. What better time than to do it now? Awesome choice of words, Justin. I ain't no afraid of no fear. That's awesome. And Geraldine, absolutely you can do it. If you've read my story from the first month, I was that little girl too. And truth be told, especially when I share something personal like my poetry, I still shake and my voice still cracks and I still get choked up. We're only human. We're only human. I like what I'm seeing in the chat box, and yes, reach out to each other, be each other's support team, and I mean, that's how you build relationships. Awesome. Okay, so that community discussion board. Oh, incidentally, guys, if you are not in the same section, make sure before you leave here you get each other's information. So if by chance you aren't in the same section that I have you, make sure you have each other's emails so you could be that support system to each other. Okay, so any questions on the discussion board for this week? Do we understand that it really is just a forum for you guys to share ideas with each other? Awesome. What I've seen in the past also, and what works so well, is that the program that is suggested, my students have shared a little example of using the program, whether it is just to say hello, share contact information, or it's to drop a couple of lines of a song that you're working on, or just using the program. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be long, but giving an example of what the program could do could also help. And I've seen that happen in the past, and it's extremely helpful for those that don't really know where to begin when it comes to recording software. Cool? Okay, now we're gonna get into some trippy stuff. So tonight really is just going over design, and it's not gonna take a lot of time. You guys have been reading Slatology and what Nancy talks about design and the way people view presentations and what they look for, what like a balance and alignment. If anyone here is in design, spark lines, definitely spark lines when it comes to developing the flow of your story and building that tension, having that tension build between what is and what could be. So definitely. But visual vertigo, if you guys had to define what visual vertigo is, what would you say it is? Dizziness, yes. Yes, it is. A sense of off balance, dizziness, absolutely. Too much info at once. yes, too much info could cloud your head and make you dizzy. So providing too much info at once could be overwhelming. Absolutely. Oh, I like that, Sina. Disorientation because of overinformation. Exploding heads. Yes. Okay. Well, how do you feel when you view something like this? Or something like this? 3D, like a fish. That's interesting. Um, and yes, Geraldine, it's very pretty. It's entertaining to the eye, but stare at it for more than 5 seconds, you start to feel like you've been on a boat for a month. Your brain melts. Yes. And that's really, in essence, what a visual vertigo is. It's creating that feeling for your audience of feeling uneven or unbalanced or even a little bit woozy. And if you don't feel comfortable, if you feel off balance, your attention goes away and it becomes very distracting. You lose sight of the purpose or the importance of the story of what the presenter is saying. Okay, so there's reasons for to know that if you are using too many animations or creating this visual vertigo. We tend to, especially if you are introduced to PowerPoint for the very first time or Keynote, and you see all these cool little nuances and tools that you can use. I'm talking about transitions. Transitions could be cool, but if you're not consistent about using transitions, it could be very disorienting and very it distracts the audience's attention from your words, if that makes sense. Your words should be strong. Slides and visuals are meant to be complementary to what you're saying. It's helping build the visual story, not distract. So, a couple of things. Too many animations can confuse your audience. Just happening in different places and at random times. They can seem unnatural. Remember that naturally we read from left to right. So if your words are coming in from right to left, it's kind of confusing. You're reading backwards or you're having the audience read backwards. Or even if you are saying the words, they're not appearing as if you're hearing them, if that makes sense. The piece is very phonetic or annoying, flashing. It's almost like you're in the club with the strobe light, and it just doesn't give you a chance to absorb the information. Then there's always random explosions or flames or it just doesn't seem to correlate with what you're saying. So I know there are some people that enjoy explosions, Michael Bay, but unless you are presenting a new idea to someone like Michael Bay, explosions may or may not be appropriate for that situation. So again, all these things that I'm introducing tonight are relative, and it really depends on the situation, the environment, and then more importantly, your audience. You know, what is it that you're seeking to do, and what do you want them to leave your presentation with? So a few more, just all of a sudden the picture just drops in out of nowhere, or the text just drops in out of nowhere. It's just unnecessary. Nick, I agree. Transformers kind of started to fall off a little bit, but it really is amazing. I love the first one, and even the second one. I love what they did with the story, especially growing up with the Transformers cartoons on Saturday. Just saying. Do you even have to ask? It's got its hands down Optimus. Do you even have to ask? Well, he's awesome, but he's a little he's new school. He's definitely new school, but I love him. He's funny. And he's a sweet ride when he turns into his car. And again, it's a just because, unless you were talking to Pixar, because Pixar can use this and get away with it, and it's part of their brand and the way that they introduce their title. But you have to know, again, you have to know your audience and you have to know the purpose. Is there any purpose to having animation? Okay, color vibration. Is there anyone in the room that understands or knows the philosophy behind color? That colors are very symbolic, and I recommend that if you're really interested in engaging your audience or having that subliminal connection between the purpose and message that you're trying to convey, I recommend that you research color vibration. Using certain colors can set a tone of the presentation. It could set the mode. It could act as a trigger to get your audience to start thinking a certain way or feeling a certain way. Of course, coupled with the tone, the inflection of your voice, your body language, all of this is all encompassing, but there are colors that represent a feeling or represent just a concept, subliminal. Yeah, I can't even say that word, subliminally. You know what I mean. It could even make someone feel hungry. Absolutely. So for red, for instance, if you if your dining room has a wall that is red, it's supposed to elicit hunger, and get but not an animalistic hunger, almost like, like I'm ready to sit down and have a meal with family type of hunger, like subdued and comfortable. And yes, Dana, it's definitely affiliated with anger and aggression. So again, the color itself is representatory of feelings, but it's also coupled with your demeanor, the inflection of your voice, the presentation of what you are trying to connect with the said color. But yes, Kayla, homie, I will tell you that half of the walls in my dining room are red. And it's just very warm and inviting. And again, it depends on the richness of the color also. So, um, a McDonald's bright red might not be as inviting in a home living room, but a deep rooted red with some like bark in it is more homely and inviting. But instantly, McDonald's knows what they're doing because they elicit those hungry people to get those Big Macs all the time. They know what they're doing. Those advertisers know exactly what they're doing. Oh, me too, Kayla. Cherrywood is gorgeous. Gorgeous. So I recommend, or I encourage you guys to look up color, especially in this stage where you're starting to build your presentation and you're thinking about the purpose and the message of your entire presentation. And when it comes to design, thinking about a background that is going to be conducive to what you say. So I recommend that you look that up. And Stina, absolutely. I have to, and you guys are probably gonna throw tomatoes at me, but I haven't ate that stuff since I'm really young, really young. I'm talking tween years. It just doesn't do it for me. I don't understand. It just doesn't do it for me. I embrace the dark side. Thank you, Josh. Okay, I'm sure you guys have heard this before. A picture is worth 1,000 words. It's kind of cliche, but it's very, very true. And the reason why Nancy brings this up in Insideology and in some of the chapters that you've been reading, even in Resonate, she brings up this fact. And the reason why she does this is because it really is. A picture can change the way that your audience is taking in the message. It really could. It can alter what you say. It could be either complimentary or it could be contradictory. So you have to be careful when you're choosing your images and know that mainly your story is what it is at the heart of the presentation, and the pictures are meant to complement what you say. But they have so much power. A picture can have so much power, especially in the part of the presentation arc where you're trying to get them to think and you're getting them to ponder. And then it is your job as the mentor to bring that into light and give them direction. But a picture could spark so many things visually and could get the wheels turning in your audience and get them to start to come to their own conclusions or feel a certain way. So, next few slides is going to demonstrate that. Yes, absolutely, Senna. Some pictures can create a star moment. More so when they are your pictures. When they're your pictures and they're showing you in your elements and they're showing you doing what you do. You're in the mix of your craft. They can be very powerful. It almost acts like this credibility, illustrating the fact of what you say. You're putting your words into practice and you're showing your actions. So they could be very powerful in that way. But to give you a simple example, if you guys were in the classroom and I put this apple on the board, what are some of the things that are going through your head? If you see an apple and I don't see anything yet, well, what are the things that are entering your mind? Okay, teacher, representative of teacher, sweet and juicy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Snow White, Daniel, love it. Yes, Snow White. Justin, awesome. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. How many times do we hear that from our parents growing up? Oh, the evil queen going over to the dark side. Love it. Anything else? Apple pie. Oh, Justin, you had to go there, didn't you? Now I want some apple pie. Oh, Cena, temptation. Love it. Passion. Awesome. Okay, so do you guys see what's happening here? This is just a picture of an apple. Very simple. And literally, which incidentally, no one typed that in. Literally, you're seeing an apple. However, you're also seeing the symbolism behind it. You're correlating it with that saying that we heard as little kids, an apple a day will keep the doctor away. You're associating it with Snow White. You're associating it with the evil queen or the teacher. Yes, Nick, generating many different topics of discussion. So right now, with this simple picture, you're already getting the wheels turning. You're engaging your audience because they are thinking about the mystery behind this image, that it's thought-provoking. So an image can be just as powerful as words, and then it's up to you as the mentor when you deliver your message that you're giving a clear direction and you're making that connection back to the image to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do. Make sense so far? Cool. Okay, What does this do? Does this do the same thing? It makes you spell apple in your head. But not really, right? It's more blunt. It's very literal, straight to the point. You know, it's apple. It's the term. There's no mystery, there's no intrigue. It's cut and dry. So if you want to do cut and dry, maybe this is the route that you go into. But there is no connection, there's no symbolism, there's no thought provoking, um, there's no wheels turning. And Josh, yeah, it could be pretty boring. Uh, Especially the fact that it's just black letters on a white background, right? Oh, interesting, Senna. Yeah, it could, but you are definitely the minority in thinking that way. If it would be very interesting to get a room full of people that would think that deep when it came to just seeing those letters on the screen, but absolutely, I agree. Okay, now if we were to put both of them together, what does this do to you as an audience? What does this make you think of right away? Kindergarten, absolutely. I know how to spell apple. Teaching someone. Flashcards. Oh, yes. Flashcards. Absolutely. But yeah, it kind of it's very condescending a little bit. It's making you feel like you're back in kindergarten, that the presenter needs to spell this out for you in order for you to understand. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. She's yelling apple. Oh, that's so adorable. Um, but yeah, it's this is more like literal, and it's not you're not giving your audience a chance at all to think or to ponder. You're just, here's a picture of an apple, and it's an apple. So we don't want to do that. Okay, what does this slide do for you? First, are you able to read the words right away? Okay, Carlene, you were. Gives you anxiety? Barely. Yes, I can see that this could give you anxiety. And if you're ever at a music festival, or you've ever been at one of the Disney or the Florida theme parks during busy season, this is what you could expect. Yes. Um, yeah, I could see it could be this city also. It could definitely be this city. Yes, and I love it too. I miss it, and you're making me miss it more. Um, but it could give you a little bit of anxiety, almost like you feel like you can't breathe, your throat closes, even if you don't suffer from anxiety, you still get that feeling. So the point of Nancy bringing this to our attention is that if there's too much going on, there isn't enough order. There's no rhyme or reason. There isn't enough order. It's very chaotic. And this is what too many pictures can do for your audience, or too many words on the screen, or having quotes over a busy picture, not using the right color of font or the right color of background. Yeah, chaos ensues. How about this? Does this look like something that at first glance you know what's going on? Truth be told, this was printed in the New York Times. And it was a debriefing of some sorts. Yes, also gives you anxiety. And when I first came across this, I thought to myself, even if I stared at this for an hour, I wouldn't be able to connect the dots. There is way too many arrows, there's way too many different avenues to go in. I don't even know how to put order in it. The reasoning why I show you this is connecting to your plans. Your plans are a roadmap. And going back to what I said about the mentor in the first week, you are the GPS system. Your purpose, or one of the purposes, is giving direction to your audience. So by the time that presentation ends, they have a clear direction about where you are going. They can decipher a definitive purpose to the entire presentation. And in this case, they are moved to make a decision. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay. So, moral of the story is you want to give them direction and show them where to go. Now, when it comes to design, you want to think of it in that way. There should be clarity. If your slides are meant to complement what you say, there needs to be a rhyme and a reason for the slides. Okay, so my friends, we take a look at this slide. Is there any positives about the slides? Okay, once you figure out what the words are, they do connect to the words, and the cat is extremely cute. Yes. And yes, he is getting much sleep, but it's too jumbled up. And it's, you know, I think Cinna used the word, whoa, you know, like there's just so much going on here. Now, what could you do to improve this? Yes, Josh, the words should be up higher, so maybe they don't interfere with the picture itself, and use less pictures. Cool. Okay. So let's try this. Is this better? Okay, so this is definitely better. We can see clearly now. You know, I have a lazy cat, and we can see that clearly now. Could this improve? The background. Okay, what about the background, Kayla? It's too plain. Okay. Need some more color. For a meme, it's perfect. A stack may be nice. Okay. Let's try this. How about that? What's wrong with this, Sina? There's no info. Does it need a caption? Too dull. How about that? Okay, so why is this the best so far? It focuses on the pic. This one's better. Give me the impression of a sleeping cat. So when you're looking at this, you can come to the conclusion that this cat is pretty chill, right? He's pretty chill. He's cuddled up next to the MacBook. And do you need the I have a lazy cat? No, because I have a lazy cat is gonna come out in the story. Do you need more than this picture to illustrate the fact that the cat is lazy or sleepy? Okay, so you want to keep that in mind when you are designing your presentations this week. And I noticed that some of you thought about things in your plans, but a lot of you left design out. And design is just an important part of the planning presentation process as anything else. Everything has its intricate part, and together it makes a solid presentation or a solid story. So when you are starting to build your presentations this week, keep that in mind. Keep in mind that what's going to work better, what's going to complement your story more effectively. And know and understand that your presentation is going to go through changes. It's going to go through editing, adding things, subtracting things, maybe taking things from the subtracted trash pile and putting them back in the last minute. Know that change is inevitable. So get rid of all reservations about change. Even if when you start to build your presentations this week, that it starts to go away from the original plan that you turned in last week. That's supposed to happen, especially after you get feedback from me. Things are supposed to evolve. After you give a plan to objective people and they give you their objective insight of what it looks like, and start to ask questions, change is supposed to happen. Sina, absolutely. And if you want to, actually, I hope that you will still keep in touch with me. I do have past students that I've been to their graduations, and we still keep in touch. So I do hope that you will keep in touch, and I will host the go-to session for all of us to check our new presentations out. I could pingy swear to that. That would be awesome. I would love it. I would absolutely love it. So, guys, don't worry about things changing. I get that question a lot, especially with my on-campus students, because they're going to be presenting live, and they get so caught up with, oh my God, what if I forget something in the script that I wrote, or what if I left something out that I shared with you in my plans? And this is how I respond to them. I'm not that English lit teacher that you were assigned to memorize Hamlet's soliloquy. I'm not going to sit there with your plans and check off everything that you say and then hold you to it. That's not what I'm about. So if there are things that you shared with me this weekend and they don't make it to your final draft, that's okay. It's okay. That's supposed to happen. That actually should be very exciting, because that means that you're growing and you are open-minded and you're taking everything that surrounds you, both from myself and from your peers, and you're able to evolve and you're aware of that. It's awesome. Oh, Kayla, that makes me very happy. My heart is happy right now. And I told you guys, you are going to find out things about yourself you had no idea you're capable of doing. And have the confidence that you are extremely capable. And evolution and gaining new knowledge is so exciting. And I hope that keeps you motivated as you progress through this program. Oh, thank you guys. I wouldn't be here without you, so I appreciate every single day that I'm actually invited on your journey, and I get to witness all this growth, and I get to learn every single day. So thank you guys for being here and making me even relevant. So I appreciate you. Aww, you guys are gonna make me blush. Aww, that's hi hubby, hi Senna's hubby. I'm glad that I calmed your nerves. That's good. Okay, this is actually in your book. I'm probably not going to play it because I know you guys have a lot of things going on, so not to keep you, but this is actually in your book, and it's a cute little Duarte-isms. Yes, Franken slides. And the whole idea about it is, no joke, I wouldn't bring this up if I didn't have to bring it, and I don't fault anyone because it is a growing process. But PowerPoint and Keynote, there's a lot of templates in both those programs. A lot of cool templates with different colors and different ways of organizing things. And they have even evolved, you know. It's not the same as you were in high school. They even evolved more with more color and more choices. However, sometimes people get so excited about their choices that there's a mixture of these templates, of said templates. And the presentation loses its professionalism or professional look. It loses its consistency because the person thinks that they're doing the right thing by using all these cool designs, but when you mesh them together, they don't work. They don't complement each other. So consistency is a big thing. It's another way to keep your audience's attention and to keep them on point and to give them a strong direction. So no, they don't mix. And that goes with the layout, that goes with the color choices. You know, don't mix too many colors as well, background. And if you are going to mix colors, make sure they're in the same family. What do I mean by that? That means if you decide that your background is going to be bold, make sure that all your background slides are bold colors and it's not a mixture between bold and pastel. There's no consistency to that. There's not a rhythm, and you wanna keep a good rhythm. Absolutely, Daniel. Absolutely. The other thing that I want to point out is some templates are really cool. You know, they have a nice design in the background, whether it's geometrical shapes or it's cool little lines or waves. These are nice. They're nice to have. However, be mindful because if you are going to use images that have a lot going on in the image, you might want to rethink using a background with having too much going on. What that does is it ends up clashing with the image, and instead of enhancing it by just making it more bold, it distracts, if that makes sense. So you wanna make sure that the images that you choose and the background that you choose don't clash with each other. Okay, so getting to the assignment for this week. And again, this is not going to be the last time that we talk about it. It's something that I'll re-go over in Thursday session just to refresh and see where you're at. Incidentally, Thursday session, I welcome you guys. If you are working on building your rough drafts, which I encourage you to do, even if you don't have my feedback yet from the plans, if you did a solid job on your plans, you have enough information to start building your presentation. Most likely, all my plans will be done by tomorrow afternoon. That's my goal. And I'm almost there since I have 2 sections done already. I'm almost there. So what I would like to see for Thursday, even if it's not completed, come in with your rough drafts. Let's have a dry run and share our ideas. Come with questions. It'll be an opportunity for you guys to give live feedback to each other. It'll give you the opportunity to share some of the things that you're building. So maybe we can incorporate not so much heavy on lecture, but sharing with each other. Cinna, okay, I am wondering, could my rough draft be a rough draft presentation, a sort of unpolished, I'm not sure what that acronym means. Work in progress. Absolutely. Oh, I feel stupid now. I should know what that meant. But yeah, that is what a rough draft is supposed to be. It's supposed to be your opportunity to start building your presentation and allow yourself to get feedback. So that's why I would love to open up that session if you can make it to and provide some of that time for you guys to give each other feedback on your rough draft. Oh, I know it's extremely hard to get coinciding schedules. I think what I'll also do is leave it up to you guys if you want to share your rough drafts with each other on that community discussion board for this week. You can upload your rough drafts right there and say, hey guys, could you take a minute and check this out and give me some feedback? That would be awesome also. In fact, I will put that in the email that I sent you guys out when I give you the link to the recording. Good idea. I'm glad, Cinna, that we came up with this together. Awesome. So, your first draft is just that. It's a draft. That does not mean that it has to be perfect. By all means, it does not mean that it has to be perfect. It's supposed to be a work in progress. It's supposed to be open for myself and your peers to give you some feedback and some insight. I will tell you that the way that I grade this one is pretty much if you met the requirements, that means that you start building a presentation, you have the audio, you created slides, then it's kind of a pass-fail thing. My feedback is mainly going to be on design. When it comes to content, I give you so much feedback in content on the plans that I'm going to expect that you revisit the feedback from your plans from this week. You'll see when you get my feedback, you'll see that I do kind of write paragraphs. But if you are using the feedback from the plans and you're using the feedback from the rough draft, you should have no problem with that final presentation and have confidence that you will have everything that you need to make it amazing and something that you are proud of and something that knowing that this is only the beginning. This is only, you're only breaking the surface. This is the beginning. I'm hoping you're creating something that you're going to take with you throughout your entire program. And it's something, as you start to gain knowledge and new skill, that you will come back to it and you will add, and it will flourish and evolve, and that you will share it with me when that time comes. Okay, this is the segment that we answered a little bit earlier on, but with video presentations and or presentations that use an online program such as Prezi or Amaze, something that generates a URL, this is how you submit it. And I'll just be going over that practice, so those at home will have this to refer back to. And for you guys that are here this evening, if you forget, you'll have this to refer to. Oh, Cinna, I would love to hear how that goes. Oh, I shared these videos already with you. Okay. So if you create a video presentation, do not submit the video file. It's not going to work. It's going to kick it out. The platform will not hold it. What you need to do with that, so if you create a video saying iMovie or Windows Movie Maker, Final Cut Pro, whatever program that you want to use, you need to upload that video to YouTube, Vidler, Vimeo, whatever hosting site that you are accustomed to. Change the privacy settings to unlisted so you do not have to make this public, which I know some people have their reservations about that. So YouTube, I think it's about 8 or 9 months, has this option that you can unlist a video. It might even be longer than that, but you can unlist your video, and through the settings, it could be anyone with a link can view the video. Once you do that in a text document, this could be text editor or Word, whatever you have access to, you copy and paste the URL link into that document with your name and your student ID number, and you upload that file to the platform. Incidentally, I'm sorry I didn't change it. Your activity is called 3.4. On campus is 3.3. So sorry for the confusion on that. But that's all you have to do. Just make sure that any program that generates a link, make sure that you create a Word document, text document, and that's what you upload to the platform. Any questions on that? Okay, Kayla, is that a yes? What is the best program to do a live streaming? Do you mean a live feed of your video? Yeah, probably YouTube would be the best for that. What are your plans? Oh, Daniel, Twitch is a good one too, if especially if you are using footage of gaming. Oh, oh, Caitlin, now I get what you're asking. If you are gonna do it live, and I'm gonna send out a form tomorrow to get a feel of who would like to do that. It will be in GoTo. I will make a session just like this with the registration link, and I would give you permission to be the presenter, and you would speak right through this session. Does that make sense? Cool. I saw another question. Oh, Justin, yes, I know that everyone is anxious. Like I said, most likely by the end of tomorrow, like late afternoon, you should be seeing my feedback. But I understand that I would be working around the clock if I graded every section in one day. That would be harsh. I would get no sleep. Awesome. Thank you. And Caleb, yes, once I give you permission, it will show your screen just like it shows my screen. You'll have your presentation up, and you'll run through it just like I run through my presentation and speak right into the go-to session. Cool. Oh, I'm so excited. That means that some people are interested in that. Awesome. Since you guys are interested in Twitch, I had a really awesome final presentation from one of my students, and he talks about Twitch and the uses of Twitch. I will find that and send that to you. Cool. Well, I want to thank you all for joining me on this Monday evening. It's been a pleasure. I know that I did a lot of the talking, and I apologize for that, but I will be giving you guys a chance to talk on Thursday, and I will send out that form to see how many of you would be interested in doing a live presentation the final week. That might be a cool idea for the Monday session for week 4. That might be a cool idea for that. So I'll keep in touch. I'll keep you guys in the know. Thank you all for your kind words. You really are sweet. You're making me blush this evening. So thank you. Thank you. I know you all have a lot to do, so I wish you a good evening and look for my recording tomorrow.